Secession is illegal. Secession is dangerous. Secession is a radical idea. Now that we have those three facts established, let me explain why I am a California nationalist and I believe California should secede, along with annexing the parts of the Colorado River in Arizona and Nevada that are necessary for us to be economically viable. It's simply because I believe the United States as a project has failed. That's not to say that it did not start with promise or that it has not contributed positively to the world. It has, as well as negatively. America as a country dominated the world for much of the 20th century, pretty much the entire second half of it, including the USSR, and it's got a lot under its belt. So calling for its dissolution and the secession of its component states certainly is not something that a lot of people are on board with. Yet. But I think there's the desire for it, perhaps subconscious, perhaps buried deep within a lot of us, and not just my fellow Californians, but everyone else. So why is secession a good idea, despite its illegality and despite the radical nature of the proposal? Well, like I said, the United States doesn't work for us anymore. We as a people cannot have a functioning democracy if we have institutions that are essentially rigged against the vast majority of the people's will. 67% of Americans want marijuana legalized. It won't go anywhere in the Senate. A majority of Americans want universal health care. It won't go anywhere in the Senate. These are just two examples. There's many, many more. Republicans have effectively rigged the political system in their favor, and they seem to think that this is the end of it. You know, they've got the Council of Six on the Supreme Court. They've got disproportionate influence in the U.S. Senate. So they won, right? Well, in the framework of the United States, they have. It's very difficult for me to foresee a scenario where Democrats are able to win the 2024 election without it being contested, probably violently, by Republicans. Which is why we need to stop thinking inside the paradigm of the United States and start thinking outside of it. Who cares if secession is illegal? To be blunt, it was illegal to secede from Britain back in the 18th century, but the revolutionaries did it anyways, because the government that represented them no longer represented them. It no longer respected their will. Now, I'm not one of these people who lionizes the founding fathers. I get that they had a shit ton of issues, and I won't dispute that. But the point that I'm making is that the right of revolution is a fundamental part of any social contract. And if our institutions no longer work for us, it is our responsibility, nay, it is our duty, to tear them down and replace them with something better. Death to America. Hail California.